let's talk about min-maxing. What is min-maxing? Where does this term come from? What's the point of min-maxing, and so on? Because as a new player, getting introduced to the terminology, you may not know what to think of this. So it's not that easy to pick up a terminology of a new game, you know. And for example, in case of Raid Shadow Legends, you hear videos and then you say, "Oh, I'm min-maxing this," and then you're like, "Okay, what the hell does this mean?" We're gonna figure this out. Let's start with the basics. So the basics are like, what is min-maxing in gacha RPGs like Raid Shadow Legends? That's the question. And there you can see the answer as well. So sometimes you ask ChatGPT, sometimes you ask something else. It's like, these sentences are the most important ones. You optimize a character or team or account by maximizing strengths and minimizing weaknesses to achieve peak efficiency. That's the objective. And then you do resource management, optimization, team, and so on, arena, whatever, account progression. And you say, while min-maxing is highly effective, it can sometimes lead to over-analysis or analysis paralysis. This is why I usually say, in any account, like any game, not just Raid Shadow Legends, so it's not the only one that I play. In fact, I might quit after the 90 days. We will see. Also in Era of Chaos, for example, that's another game. You know, you have some sort of an account where you have some sort of units, and their strengths are quite good. In fact, if you check out my unit, it's me everywhere, right? So on this account, I have the top 10 strongest strongest team members, and here we have teams of 8. In fact, this is a more complicated game than Raid Shadow Legends on some level. On other levels, it's a lot simpler, but it's complicated because in a formation, you see that we have like 8 units, plus 3 war machines, plus a hero, plus backup units, where you have different backup formations. It's like defensive, offensive, caster, ranged unit, and there is also a charging unit that can charge for the back row to damage casters and ranged units. And there is a backup formation with supporting heroes. For example, this one gives you 10% extra damage with adjutant power and damage reduction. And you can group units so that they are synergic, for example, with castle. So this, you can imagine that min-maxing means that like every single unit or every single hero is maxed in terms of, oh, my heroes are quite bad, but they are effective either way. So this is the idea. And analysis paralysis, this means that when you don't know what to do, you know what I do in this case? I generate a random number and I continue in one path. And if that was the wrong choice, so be it. I need to continue, even in a suboptimal way, to get resources in the future. So, when people hesitate to make decisions because it's not the optimal decision, it doesn't have to be the optimal decision when you don't know what the hell you're doing. It can be a suboptimal decision, but progress is more important than being optimal. In Raid Shadow Legends, this is horrible. Just imagine the analysis paralysis, the amount of analysis paralysis. You have level 1-star units, you have 2-star or champions, you have 2-star champions, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, 6-star. And if you want to rank up a 1-star champion, you need to feed another 1-star champion to it. And just imagine the amount of analysis paralysis going on. Okay, which of my units should I sacrifice? Oh no, this is the level 40. Shall I sacrifice even though I moved her up to level 40? Oh, I'm so, unhappy about this. I don't know what to do. Here is another one. Shall I use this for food even though I 5-starred it because I wanted to complete a quest or mission? Or what is this ascendance level? Shall I use this as food or shall I 6-star it? Oh, if I 6-star it, it's only uncommon, and it's in the reviews they say in some areas it's good, but why would I 6-star it if they're doing so badly in these areas, and these are like average, below average? What is going on? Are these good numbers, or do I need to go to hellhades.com, for example, to see what the real utility of the unit is? you see, and then you get into analysis paralysis. That's the problem of min-maxing. And then where min-maxing is coming from is this optimization. Minimize weaknesses, maximize strength. And the best way to illustrate this is this best time to buy and sell stock. Okay, I've solved this before, so I quickly deleted this. So this is programming, okay? So it's nothing special. The idea is that you have a problem where you need to find the best time to buy and sell a stock. It's the same thing as optimizing an account. You do Nancy Pelosi stuff, so you know what laws are gonna be accepted in the United States. Let's say tomorrow in the vote. So you just Google Nancy Pelosi stock tracker and you'll understand what is going on. Her family members buy the stock. It's called insider trading. Nothing illegal for them. It's illegal for you. And then they buy and sell stock, right? So this is nothing special. Is the same thing here, that you may know the prices, and then so these are the prices of the stock. You see, and then what is the optimal price? Obviously, if you look at this, the best thing you can do is buy it for 1 and sell it for 6. But how do you calculate this? Because looking at it is kind of easy. This is a min-maxing problem. So these are the opportunities that you got. And you need to minimize the weakness and maximize the strength. But you could have sold it for 7 as well if you had it before. Now that ship has sailed because you haven't purchased it, right? But you still need to know that your opportunity is to buy for 1 and sell for 6 afterwards. Not sell for 7. You cannot do like short sell for 7 and then buy it back for 1. It's not within the rules. Maybe level 100 characters will be able to do it. So how do you conclude it? And then you figure out that the idea is to simplify as much as possible and formulate. And the same thing applies to Raid Shadow Legends, same thing applies to Era of Chaos, same thing applies to any math-based game. And here the idea is the following. Imagine that you have, let's say, cost, mean cost, for example, and max profit. So if I had a, let's say, a pi, math pi, then pi would be profit. Doesn't matter. We're not economists, at least here. And here you can see that before you know the first number, the minimum cost is infinity, and the max profit is 0. How do you achieve max profit in 0 days? You don't buy anything, you don't sell anything. So you didn't lose anything, you didn't win anything. And then all you need to do is just get the numbers. The first number is 7. If you wanted to buy a stock, what is your minimum price? Obviously it's 7. What is your maximum profit? Well, it's 0, because then you don't buy anything because you cannot sell it in 1 day. And then moving on to the second day. The stock is right now at 1. If you wanted to buy it today, the minimum price would be 1. So from now onwards it would be 1. But the max profit is still 0, because you can choose between either 0 profit, that was already there yesterday, or you can choose to sell it for 1 and buy it for 7, so it's like 1 minus 7, which is minus 6. That's a typical min-maxing exercise. Minimize cost, maximize profit. Minimize weakness, maximize strength. Same thing. And then you're presented with another choice, 5. And look at the methodology. This is the amazing thing. 5 is the next one. Minimum cost is still 1 because you can buy it for 5 today, but you could have bought it for 1. So obviously you'll choose the 1. By the way, this is a nonsense exercise in real life because this is why traders fail, by the way. This is the exact reason why traders fail. Because they backtest their backwards rationalize their overfitted strategy. Overfitting means, by the way, in technical terms, that you create a strategy that works for this specific sequence of numbers. and then you're wondering why the hell my strategy is not working for the future. That's why traders fail, most of them. And overfitting is another story. It has not much to do with min-maxing. Maximum profit. So you could have bought it for 1, now you can sell it for 5. So you take either the previous max profit, which was 0, so this is 0, or you sell it for the current price, whatever is available today. But you could have bought it for 1, that's this number. It's not this number, but it's this one. It's very important because you cannot buy it today for 1. You could buy it for 1 yesterday. Today you can buy it for 5, but then you should have bought it yesterday. That's the optimization step. And then the idea is quite simple. The idea is that we have, let's say, min price that is like infinity at the beginning, see? Or min cost. Let's do it min cost. And max profit, let it be equal to 0, right? This is programming. Don't worry, you don't need to know programming. It's gonna be understandable. At the end, you need to return the max profit because this is what the exercise is interested in. We're maximizing the profit by minimizing cost and maximizing selling price that happens after the minimized cost. And then what do? You go through all prices in sequence. The way to do this, by the way, this is the cheat code for let price of prices. And this gives you each price one by one, starting from the 7, 1, 5, 3, 6, 4, whatever. Hope you like programming, possibly more than grinding in Raid Shadow Legends. Maybe I'll transform your life and you're gonna now do coding because you're gonna be addicted to coding instead of doing the same game loop over and over and over and over again 100,000 times so that you get that extra star champion. I mean, this is more fun for sure. Anyway. And then, you know what's even more fun? Then you can continue playing, for example, Raid Shadow Legends or whatever other game. And those that don't have a sweep function, you can automatize your computer so that it plays instead of you. And then you have more time for more interesting things than seeing the same thing over and over. I understand the idea of compulsion loops, that it makes you comfortable. You see the same thing, so you know what you can expect, and certainty is a human need. Uncertainty and variety is also a human need, because with every single grinding, attempt, your account gets stronger by 0.0001%, and then something new will happen one day once you've collected all the puzzle pieces. And that's what you're looking forward to. So it means both certainty, it means both variety, and then you can boost your ego by having a more significant account. Amazing. So these are kind of basic needs. So for each and every price, what do we need to do? This is a trick, actually. That's a trick, because first we need to calculate the profit, update profit, and then we need to update the cost for tomorrow. And given that we're update profit for today, max profit, and we do the second step for tomorrow because we have the price today. So once we buy, see, let's say min cost equals, it's called math.min, okay? So it's not just min, but math.min. Yesterday's min cost, that is already available. And today's min cost is like, what is today's min cost? Is the price. So this is how you minimize the cost. That's easy, isn't it? And how do we update the max profit? The max profit is nothing else but math.max. That's the maximum number. That's why I chose this exercise, because it's easy to understand without doing much or without knowing even programming, right? That's a maximum. We have the previous max profit from yesterday, and we started with 0, by the way, so max profit should be non-negative. So yesterday's max profit was 0, and then we do yesterday's min cost. That was min cost, which hasn't been updated, So you cannot buy today and sell today, it doesn't make sense. You could buy yesterday and sell today. But if it was today's min cost, it wouldn't have made any difference, by the way. The algorithm would have still worked, it's just, less sane. So yesterday's min cost is a cost basis, and you can sell it in exchange for the price today. That's the price today, right? So price today minus min cost from yesterday or before. So if you are 6, then the min cost is all the way from here, that's a 1. If this is today, then the min cost is infinity because you didn't have any opportunity in the past to buy the stock in the previous day because this is the first ever day. That's when you registered your account, whatever. And this is min-maxing. This is min-maxing. Basically, you can run the code while talking, possibly it's accepted, yeah. So, funny thing about lead code is that you can solve exercises like this and you can run hundreds of tests on it when you submit it. And then it's submitted and you see it's, I managed to beat 7.79% of all the people. That's random, by the way, in this case. So its server was it had a bit high server load at this specific time. It's not reliable, don't worry about it. What you need to worry about is the idea of min-maxing. Optimization. Because you can say that, okay, well, I sell for 5, no, I want to sell for 5, oh, no, I cannot sell for 7 because I couldn't buy it. Then I sell it for 5 and buy it for 1, that's amazing. And it's a good enough choice, by the way, it's just one less than the optimal choice. Sometimes min-maxing is optimal like this, other times it's not optimal, because it leads to a local maximum. Because you can distinguish between local maximum and global maximum. In a complex game like Raid Shadow Legends or Hero of Chaos, you won't be able to find a global optimum. Especially because the global optimum changes as new units get buffed and other units are retrained because of feedback. Because if there is a backlash, for example, that a champion is too weak or too strong or too whatever, then they change its parameters and then they screw over those who bought the champion. This is typical in games like this. So that's min-maxing, and that's one of the pitfalls, min-maxing pitfall, analysis paralysis. This is why you need to imagine a game like a search tree. And there are two things, depth first search and breadth first search. Imagine it like a search tree, and if you Google some images on this, not videos of, yeah, images, then you'll see that depth first and breadth first, it applies to games as well. Depth first, it's very much like, okay, well, we always go left first and right second in this example, but you can have some heuristics that you know that, okay, I'm gonna choose Kale. Kale is blue, right? So I'm gonna go right. I know it because I saw it in the video. Now I'm gonna go left. And then you're already on level 40 or level 30 something, and then you reach Doom Tower because you did just this path. And screw faction wars, right? So screw faction wars. I'm not gonna widen the account with different factions, level 30, level 40, level 50. I just couldn't care less about it. Screw it. I go straight away towards Doom Tower and maximize collecting all the resources. That's the depth first approach. If I had that much experience as some of you, I would have done this. But given I didn't, I had to lag behind to understand how the game is played, and I imitated the strategy of some of you. I have some Hell Hades strategies like built in mine. I have some other strategies built in. But in the meantime, so that I stay useful, I did the breadth first approach. What is a breadth first approach? First you're on level 1, then you're on level 2, you visit all the nodes, then you're level 3, visit all the nodes, and this is a hell lot of work, and you're not even reaching level 40 something, and your Doom Tower is not open. I reached Doom Tower 2-3 days after. But does it matter? No, it doesn't matter, because given I had no idea how to craft effective gear until I understood what stats to maximize, optimize for, I still cannot make a lot of progress in Doom Tower. One day I will learn it, it's not a problem. But in the meantime I do something else. And what can I do? For example, you go to Battle, you go to Arena, there you go, refresh immediately. Oh, 5600, it's not bad at all. So that's fine. I can do this like straight away, as soon as this is unlocked. And you see, it's kind of easy. It's kind of very easy. Oh, this time it took 2. Okay, fine. And then you go like, what else? Oh, that's not me, right? I'm not gonna fight any of them. Oh, I forgot to refresh this. That's good. That's good. I like it. So, you know, in the meantime, you optimize. That's a breadth first approach to the game. Oh, another one. How juicy. Okay, sometimes I get burned by not these, but somewhat stronger opponents. How good. And I'm still below 2000 because I usually oscillate between silver +3 and gold, because I simply cannot spend enough of this currency to get all the fights in. So I did some extra work so that I could compete. So this is amazing. And then faction wars. Look at today's faction wars. Not bad. 16 stars. Not bad at all. What about the other one? Okay, I don't have enough units. Right now I do. This is not optimal. I still need to 3-star this, 3-star this, 3-star this. I'm still lacking 3 stars. I have 6 keys left, so I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna get 3 extra stars. Unfortunately, I cannot fight the stage 7 boss, right? And that's why I'm in the top 5 in faction wars, because I did a breadth first approach. Many of you were busy going depth first, 6-starring Chaos, 6-starring what's her name? Alice, 6-starring whoever else. I was like, yeah, I will do it later, but I need some faction war champions. Simply because I wanted to understand which champions are good, which champions are bad. I've never seen some of the skills. So breadth first, depth first. And then min-maxing, you understand the math as well, more or less. You minimize cost, maximize profit. Same thing as in stocks. That's the idea. And, well, the approach, you'll see in the end what leads to victory. I don't think I have what it takes to win. I'm not sure at the moment if I have what it takes to get into top 10. It also depends on others. Based on past results, top 20 is almost guaranteed with this approach that I have right now. Top 20. Top 10 will be tough, maybe doable. And it has not much to do with luck, by the way. Yes, we can pull some champions that are amazing, it would give us some points. But it's consistency showing up every single day, that's another story. Because if you can make one move or you can make 2 moves, which is more effective. In one move it doesn't even matter if you do breadth first or depth first, because you go somewhere and that's it, you visit just one node. In 2 moves, it matters if you visit the second row nodes or if you go deep. And if you know the correct path, then you'd rather go deep to get more resources, because the bottom ones are more valuable than the top ones. That's the idea. So you neither do depth first nor do breadth first, you do both in parallel, but you prioritize the depth instead of breadth most of the time if you know where you're going. Hopefully this sheds some light on decisions in the game. Not just this one, in all other games as well, is the same thing. Now, you need local knowledge to specialize on knowing which nodes to visit, where to focus your effort, and if you don't, then you just execute and imitate others who know, and then you'll visit the same nodes eventually. It's just you're gonna be in a delay. But you're gonna have 2 advantages, by the way. One advantage is that your breadth is gonna be already better and the other people will have to do it sooner or later anyway, so then you'll almost catch up. The second thing is that you'll have seen more numbers. So imagine that in the stock selling, the depth first fighters will see this. And they say, okay, buy for 1, sell for 5. And by the time I get to take the same decision, I will have seen this. And I say, okay, I'll buy for 1, sell for 6. Because there are more events running, I can pull shards while events are running and so on. This is good. Because then you'll catch up a bit faster, because you can optimize resources while doing more breadth first than the others. That's how you can learn from others and also out-execute them on some level. And at the end you'll reach maybe even a higher score. But then those who are really experienced will know some tricks that you don't. So don't have hopes of auto-executing the best of the best, because that takes some experience as well. Because there are some parts of the node that you don't even see right now in the game. You will see this sometime in the future, and they already know where to go. And maybe they are already positioning their account to be in the right place. Raid is a tough game. Era of Chaos is a tough game as well. Most of these are tough. So be prepared, do some math as well at times, and most important thing, don't worry about analysis paralysis. You need to make some progress. If you don't know what kind of progress to make, oftentimes breadth first helps, and getting information in the meantime helps as well.